Well, greetings one and all, and welcome back to another video with your host Andrew. What we're going to be doing today is having a look at this pen here, which is the Laban 325. So if I just take this out of the box, which you have seen on two previous occasions, we have got the Laban 325 in Forest, which is an absolutely beautiful looking pen. So let's roll the titles and get on with this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to do, I'm going to provide you with some details on this pen right now. Wunderbar. Okay, and as a request from my friend Mei-Ling, I am going to provide you with some even more closer-ups of this pen today. So let's see how we get on with that. On the cap, we have got a little gold finial, which is like a little medallion, I would say. And it's got the Laban's logo imprinted on there. It looks really, really beautiful. And it's got some texture to it as well. So that is fantastic. Coming on to the actual cap itself, we've got two gold rings. It comes on to this very nice faux ivory, I guess, faux ivory acrylic. So no elephants were harmed in this, thank goodness. And then we've got this gold ring here, which has got Laban very lightly, I would say, yeah, very lightly laser etched into that. Lovely. And then it sort of tapers down. Now, what I do find quite interesting about this, it does look like a pill. I'm not going to lie, it does look like a pill. I will talk a bit more about that later on. Now on to the pen barrel. We have got two gold pen barrel rings with a little bit of faux ivory plastic in between. And then we've got this quite interesting semi-chatoyant cracked marble effect going on here. It's quite nice. And I think it's probably some of the more interesting aspects of this pen. And then we've got one more gold ring on the barrel, which separates it to the butt end of the finial. Underneath, we have got quite a nice section, comfortable threads. It tapers down onto a collar, and then we've got a gold-plated Yovo medium nib with Laban imprinted on there, and then we've got a plastic feed on the back. Now underneath the barrel, we have got an international cartridge converter supplied, and that will come pre-installed in your pen, so it's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go on to doing a writing sample, and then I'll provide you with my final thoughts after I've done a size comparison as well. So let's get on to the next section. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so we have got the Laban 325 in the Forest. And this is a medium Yovo nib. And we'll just write down, oh goodness, hang on, let's start that again. Medium steel nib, there we go. Don't know what was going on there. A little bit of a mind fart, I think. Anyway, the ink is Pannonia. And this is Pelican Green. Not to be confused with the actual company Pelican, as this is a different spelling. Although Pelican in Germany is Pelican in any other language, it's just that it's spelled with a K. Anyway, Pelican Green. Don't know why it's called Pelican Green though, because pelicans definitely are not green. So, interesting naming convention. Right, let's get out the quick brown fox. And that's all right with this. It is extremely, extremely smooth, which I think you can sort of expect from Yovo. The quick brown fox. Let's just move that up a little bit. Okay, right, so Let's see if we've got any expression in this nib. So we'll just start off with some vertical lines and then we'll apply a bit more pressure. And there's a little bit to be had. Now what I do find is that this pen, even though it's a medium steel nib, definitely writes on the finer side of things. So that's something to sort of take into consideration. And there is some spring to be had. But you have to exert a little bit more pressure, and it's certainly not as soft as the steel nib on the Laban Antique, which I reviewed last week. But let's just write out the test. So, I mean, there's a little bit of expression, but nothing to really write home about. In terms of flow for the pen, it's wet, it's not a gusher, and I'd say the Laban Antique 2 is just as wet. In fact, I've still got that test, so we can actually have a look in comparison. And as you can see, I'd say the Laban Antique 2 was just actually a hair bit wetter, but I'll go into more depth on that maybe down the line. So let's continue. In terms of reverse writing, yeah, you can reverse write with it. And again, you can get some quite nice expressional hairlines in there. Fantastic. So for pointillism, no problems. Hatching, again, no problems whatsoever. And if we do a comparison between the two, you can see actually the vertical, or sorry, the horizontal strokes are a little bit skippy at times. The vertical strokes, I should have said vertical up there, are a little bit better. Now, I've also noticed that this ink doesn't necessarily react so well on this Rhodia paper. It does have a tendency that when you go over the lines, it tends to stop reacting with the page. Quite interesting, although it seems to be okay at the top. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, that is it for the writing sample. Let's now go on to doing a quick size comparison. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the size comparison. So what we've got here on the left is the Laban Antique 2, which we reviewed last week. Laban 325 Forest, the Mayora Impromptu Turi, a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Grande in Arco, and then we've also got a Pelican M200, just to throw that in for a smaller pen. So it is a big pen, the 325, and if you look at it in comparison to the Mayora and the Leonardo, it is, I would call, an oversized pen. It's certainly quite a big presence, I would say. So let's get these uncapped. And as you can see, hopefully, apologies about it not being completely face down. I still need to get a boom arm, and I will get one at some stage. But the Laban Antique there is actually quite comparable even to the M200. I know we're not comparing these two pens, but quite comparable. The Laban 325 Forest, very similar to the Mayora Impromptu Turi oversize, and very sort of similar to the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Grande in Arco. So not a huge difference between those pens. And considering the price which you pay for this, it is presenting quite good value in terms of size. So I hope that you found that useful. Let's go on to my final thoughts and feelings on this pen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the Laban 325 in Forest. What do I like and what do I not like about it? Well, out of all three pens which Cult Pens has very kindly loaned to me, I have to say this isn't my favourite out of all of them. Probably my least favourite. And it's not because it's not a bad writer, it's a very good writer and it wrote fantastically. But aesthetically, this doesn't necessarily tick the boxes for me. Now, I know this pen is being very kindly loaned to me and I'm always going to be very honest about what I have to say. There are aspects about the pen which I do like. I do like the fact that they've not used actual ivory. I think that is great. And I do like the green on the actual barrel here. I like the fact that there's not a huge amount of turns to take the cap off. It's got a really nice sized nib and it's really proportionate to the actual size of the pen. It's very comfy to use. So there are things which I do enjoy about the actual pen. What I don't enjoy about the pen so much, there's a lot of things going on with this. We've got a huge amount of cap rings and barrel rings going on here. It's got rings for days, and I'd say it's a little bit overdone. I feel maybe had the design been constrained a little bit, it would have been a bit better. The cap is also quite bulbous in comparison to the barrel, which is a bit of a shame. And had it been a bit more sort of streamlined, I think I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. The cream ivory is going to be very, very polarizing, I feel. Having said that, I do know these models do sell quite well. The Laban 325 has been out for, what, essentially 5 years now, and obviously it's doing well for it to be still in its own lineup. Just from my own personal aesthetics, it's not necessarily a pen which sort of ticks the boxes for me. There's one other thing which I've noticed, and it could be just, again, an anomaly. When you actually take the actual barrel off, some reason the actual threading on here is catching on the actual barrel, which is a bit of a shame. It doesn't always do it, but at times it will catch, which is a great shame. But other than that, you know, it's a nice pen, and I think one which certainly will appeal to a certain type of market, but it's just not necessarily for me. That's not to say I wouldn't recommend going out to buy one. You know, if this sort of aesthetics is what you're after, then yeah, definitely go and consider it. There are other colours available. I just wish they had made the actual cap more flush to the actual barrel. I've never been too much of a fan of bulbous caps. I just like my caps to actually meet the actual barrel, which is a bit of a shame, but that's just personal choice at the end of the day. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the videos. Going down the line, I've got a few more exciting pens coming up. We've got an Anoto, we've got a Bokumondu, and we've also got a Gravitas pen. So I'm going to put that into a poll, and I'm going to see what you guys want to see reviewed next. The Anoto is very nice, as is the Gravitas, and the Bokumondu should be with me hopefully next week, fingers crossed. So yeah, do let me know what you want to see reviewed in the next few weeks. I'm going to probably just do the Gravitas and the Anoto for next week, and then I might update the poll if the pen does arrive within time. So thank you for listening, and I shall see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and goodbye for now.